Sasa, welcome back. If you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone interested in our educational system, you might be hearing a lot of big words about grade 10 and senior school. You're hearing about pathways, tracks, and competencies. It can get a little confusing, sindio? Let's put the big words aside for a minute and let's break it down to the basics. Here is the most important thing you need to know. Senior school is where the specialization begins. We are moving away from the system in junior school where every learner did the exact same subjects. In grade 10, the magic number is 7. Every student in senior school will take a total of 7 learning areas. This is the rule. And the formula is very simple. It is 4 plus 3. You just have 4 compulsory subjects, and these are the ones everyone must do, no matter what their talent is. And then we have 3 elective subjects. These are the ones the learners choose based on what they want to become in the future. So simply put, 4 must-dos plus 3 choices equals 7 subjects. Hapo tuko pamoja? Let's look at these must-dos, the 4 compulsory subjects. These are the subjects that give every Kenyan learner the foundation they need, whether they want to become a doctor, a musician, or even a business person. Number 1, English and Kiswahili or KSL. Every learner takes English, that is 5 lessons a week. Then, every learner takes Kiswahili or Kenyan Sign Language if they have hearing impairments. That is also 5 lessons a week. So, language is key. You have to communicate effectively. Number 2, mathematics, the big choice. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Everyone must take mathematics, but unlike before, it is not one size fits all. We now have 2 types of math, and the learner picks the one that fits their career path. Option A is core mathematics. This is the heavy lifting. This is for the students who want to get into STEM. If you want to be an engineer, a scientist, or a doctor, you take core math. It deals with complex stuff, abstract algebra, intense geometry, and things you need for the hard sciences. Option B is essential mathematics. This is for the learners in arts, sports, or social sciences. Let's be honest. If you want to become a journalist or a musician, do you really need complex calculus? Maybe not. But you do need to know how to manage money, how to run a business, and how to understand statistics so you don't get cheated. Essential math teaches you financial literacy and practical skills for daily life. So everyone does math, but you choose the math that serves your future. Number 3, community service learning, CSL. This is the final compulsory subject. This is not just cleaning the market. No. This is a real subject with 3 lessons a week. It teaches learners how to identify problems in their community and actually solve them using what they've learned in class. It builds citizenship. Now, before we rush to choose the electives, there's something else. We call this the mandatory support learning areas. These are subjects that learners must attend even though they aren't part of the big 7 exam subjects. They are there to make sure that the student is healthy, disciplined, and tech savvy. Number 1, physical education, PE. You need to be physically fit to learn well. Number 2, ICT skills. And please do not confuse this with computer studies. ICT skills is for everyone, just learning how to use a computer, the internet, and basic productivity tools. Computer studies, on the other hand, is a tough elective for those who want to code or build systems. Number 3, PPI, Pastoral Program of Instruction. This is for spiritual growth and character. So, that is the foundation. Every learner in senior school starts here. Compulsory subjects, English, Kiswahili, Math, CSL, plus the support subjects PE, ICT, and PPI. On the next video, we're going to look at the exciting part, the 3 electives. This is where we talk about the pathways, STEM, social sciences, and arts and sports. This is where the learner gets to follow their passion. In the last section, we agreed on one thing, the must-dos. We said that every student in senior school takes 4 compulsory subjects: English, Kiswahili, Math, and CSL. That is the foundation. But now, we get to the exciting part. We get to the specific career path. Remember our formula? 4 plus 3. Today we are talking about the 3 electives. Think of senior school like a major highway that splits into 3 different roads. We call these roads pathways. The learner cannot walk on all 3 at once. They have to pick one that matches their strength. We have number 1, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Number 2, we have social sciences, humanities, and languages. And number 3, we have arts and sports science. Let's look at each one pole pole. First, we have STEM. This is for the future doctors, engineers, architects, agriculturalists, or tech quizzes. If your learner chooses this road, their 3 electives will be heavy on the sciences. They can choose the pure sciences track. That means they pick 3 subjects like biology, chemistry, and physics. Or, and this is important, they can choose the applied sciences or technical track. This is for the learners who want skills they can use immediately. They can pick subjects like agriculture, home science, computer studies, or even building, construction, and electricity. And remember what we said in the last section. If you are on this STEM road, you must take core mathematics as your compulsory math. You need that heavy calculation power to survive here. Road number 2 is social sciences. This is for the future lawyers, diplomats, business owners, and teachers. It deals with people, society, and money. Here, the big 3 electives come from 2 main baskets. One basket is humanities. This has subjects like history and citizenship, geography and religious education, CRE, IRE, or HRE. The other basket is business studies. If you want to be an entrepreneur, this is where you belong. There is also the languages track here. If a student loves words, they can pick literature in English or fasihi ya Kiswahili. They can even learn a foreign language like French, German, or Mandarin. For these students, they usually take essential mathematics. They need the math for business and daily life, not for building bridges. Finally, road number 3, the arts and sports science pathway. For a long time, people thought that these were just hobbies. Not anymore. These are serious career paths in the new curriculum. If your child is a talented musician, an actor, painter, or even a star athlete, this is their home. The 3 electives will focus on things like music and dance, theater and film, fine arts, or sports and recreation. Now, here's a secret that most people miss. If you're in the arts or sports track, you might still need some science, but you don't need the deep physics or chemistry. So, the curriculum allows these learners to take a subject called general science. This subject combines the basics of biology, chemistry, and physics into one package. It gives a footballer the knowledge of the human body they need without forcing them to balance chemical equations all day. Smart, sindio? So, parents and teachers, here's the bottom line. You cannot just pick any 3 subjects randomly. You cannot pick physics, French, and music. That confuses the timetable and the career path. The curriculum has organized these subjects into specific bundles or combinations. Your job is to look at the learner. Are they a STEM person? Are they a social sciences person? Or are they arts and sports person? Once you answer that, picking the 3 electives becomes very easy. So, 4 compulsory plus 3 electives. That is your 7. This is senior school. So, take time, talk to your learner. Don't force a fish to climb a tree. Let them pick the road where they run the fastest. I have been looking at the official list of subject combinations. Do you know there are over 500 different combinations on this list? We have the normal ones that we expect. We have the interesting ones that make sense for modern jobs. And then we have some wild combinations that make you stop and say, wait, you can do that? Yeah. Let's look at a few examples. Let's start with combinations we all know. These are the classics. If your learner wants to be a doctor, they go to the STEM pure sciences track. They take biology, chemistry, and physics. This is a tried, tested, and true option. If they want to be a lawyer, they go to social sciences. They take history, geography, and business studies, or maybe literature in English, history, and geography. These are the safe bets, but the world is changing. Sindio? Now, let's look at the hybrids. This is where the curriculum gets really smart about the modern economy. Example 1, the agribusiness tycoon. Imagine a student in the STEM applied sciences track. They pick agriculture and computer studies, but for their third elective, they pick business studies. This isn't just digging the soil. This is smart farming. This is a student who can grow the crop, code the irrigation system, and market the product globally. Example 2, the global trader. Let's go to social sciences. How about geography, business studies, and Mandarin Chinese? This learner isn't just studying maps. They're preparing to handle logistics and trade with the East. This is a powerful career move. Now, get ready. These are the combinations that surprised even me. These are for the unique talents. Number 1, the Da Vinci Code. Arts plus math. We usually think arts students hate math, right? Wrong. Look at this option. In the arts track, the subjects are fine arts, theatre and film, and advanced mathematics. Why? Think about architects. Think about 3D animators. They need artistic skill, but they need heavy geometry and calculation to make those designs work. Number 2, the sports analyst. Check out this option in the sports and recreation track. Subjects, sports and recreation, biology, and media technology. This is the learner who wants to be a sports broadcaster or a performance analyst. They understand the game, sports, they understand the body, biology, and they know how to broadcast. Media tech. Number 3, the flying farmer. I'm not joking. Look at these subjects. Agriculture, business studies, and aviation. Maybe they are running a large-scale farm that uses drones. Maybe they are into flower exports. It sounds wild, but for the right kid, it's perfect. So parents, teachers, when you see this long list of combinations, don't just look for the classics. Look for the combinations that unlocks your learner's specific future. Whether they are a woodwork student who also studies business, or a musician who studies computer studies, the right mix is out there. Explore the list. Be curious. We have talked about the 4 compulsory subjects. We've talked about the 3 electives. We have looked at the pathways and the wild combinations. But there's one subject we mentioned at the very beginning that is worth explaining in more detail. It is the heartbeat of the new senior school. It is called Community Service Learning, or CSL. Now, be honest, when you hear community service, you think of punishment, sindio? You think of students being told to slash grass because they came in late. Please erase that from your mind. In grade 10, CSL is a compulsory subject with 3 lessons a week on the timetable. It is not punishment, it is a classroom. So, what happens in those 3 lessons? CSL is the bridge between what the student learns in class and what the community actually needs. Let me give you a real example from the curriculum we analyzed. Imagine a student in the STEM pathway taking agriculture. In class, they learn about composting techniques and soil improvement. They write notes about organic manure. That is the theory. But in CSL, that student has to go out. They might identify that their local community has poor soil. They will design a project to teach farmers how to use that compost manure to grow better crops. They aren't just learning agriculture. They are solving a food security problem. But Teacher Zul, you may ask, what about the arts or math students? It's a very good question. Let's look at a student taking essential mathematics. In class, they are learning about commercial arithmetic, budget, discounts, and profits. In CSL, this student might find a local youth group or a women's chama that is struggling to manage their funds. The student uses their math skills to help them create a budget or a savings plan. See the difference? Classroom math equals calculation. CSL math equals solution. So why is the ministry forcing every student to do this? Because we don't just want smart students. We want, and I quote the curriculum here, engaged, empowered, and ethical citizens. We want a lawyer who understands social justice. We want an engineer who understands environmental protection. We want an artist who uses theater to teach health and safety. CSL ensures by the time the learner leaves grade 12, they haven't just memorized facts. They have already started building their nation. So, there you have it, folks. The senior school equation. 4 compulsory, 3 electives, 7 subjects, plus the support subjects, PE, ICT, PPI, plus CSL to tie it all to the community. It is a big change from the old system. It is broad, it is practical, and yes, it is a little bit complex, but the goal is simple: to give every Kenyan child a path that fits them. I hope this series really helped, and thank you for watching.